Chapter 3, The Age of Revolutions, 1830 to 1848. So we'll just recall in the chapter 2 what happened before starting with this. So we understood that the conservative regimes that was set up in 1815, okay, and they were autocratic. Autocratic, everything we have read in the previous chapter, okay. So what happened? What is the conservative regimes? That is, the king, they don't want to go pre-revolutionary period, that is before French Revolution. They accepted the Napoleonic code and they were very happy with it. They have started their ruling, okay. So they are called as a conservatives because they want to be completely the traditional way of how they have been ruling the people, okay. So they were called as conservatives. So now the new conservatives are nothing but they are the monarchy, they are the kings, okay. So what actually happened is they imposed censorship law, okay, for newspaper, books and play. This motivated liberals to fight against monarchy for freedom of press. So by this way, the liberal nationalist, okay, who are being called as a liberal nationalist, now they have taken into the next step called as revolutionary. They want freedom of press that has been censored by these new conservatives. Because of that, they now started revolutions, right? Who are these liberal nationalists? We know they are the educated middle class people. So they want these those liberals. They want they want to overthrow the monarchy. As it is, they want to overthrow the monarchy and they need the freedom of press. All those things has happened, right? That's what we have seen in an example also. In 1815, how that repression has been started, and we have also talked about the Muzni, right? Okay, how he has been motivating the other people also to be the group under the revolutionary, right, by making a secret societies. Now this new chapter, this describes what, right? What it describes is, the first paragraph, this describes the conservatives, they try to strengthen their power, okay. That is wherever, like Italian, German states and the Ottoman Empire, Ireland, Poland, they are actually in those areas and all, the revolutions has been spreading. When the conservatives try to improve their strength, the revolution started, revolution increased. That was the first point, okay. These conservatives, they want to prove themselves, they want to make their stand, they want to strengthen by putting these censorships. That was happening in the other way. The liberalism and nationalism came to be increasingly associated with the revolutions. And this has been starting up in many places of Europe, like Italy, German states and Ottoman Empire, Ireland and Poland. These revolutions has been started. As we know, the revolutions were led by the liberal nationalists. Who are these liberal nationalists? Educated middle class people. They were the professors, school teachers, clerks, doctors, and they were the commercial middle class members, okay. Right, what happens now? The first thing is, very important thing in 1830, that is called as the July Revolution, that has been sparked, okay. The July Revolution is sparked in that first upheaval means that is the first thrown off, has been taken place in France in July 1830. What happened there? The Bourbon kings, as we know, the Bourbon king was actually they restored the power. The conservatives restored the power After 1815, that the treaty at Vienna, what actually they have told? Whatever the power, the monarchies who has lost their territories because of the Napoleonic War, those territories has been again restored to the monarchies without disturbing the physical, that is a political environment. That's why they didn't do anything in the German Federation. Whereas the remaining territories which were being under Napoleon, after the defeat of the Napoleon, the new conservatives, the monarchies, they are replacing one by one. So what happened now is, because of these new conservatisms and censorships, all those things, the revolution has been started, and first overthrown, what actually they are doing is, they are overthrowing the king, that is a monarchy who is ruling that is the Bourbon rulers, or the Bourbon kings who were ruling the France. So that king has been overthrown by these revolutionaries. Okay, and what actually they are doing after that? After this, actually this is called as a July Revolution, because this was taken place in July in 1830. This was taken place, that is very important thing. The place is France. This is removed, this revolution removed the Bourbon kings from the France by liberal revolutionaries, right? Now what happens next? So these liberal revolutionaries, they installed the constitutional monarchy. What is the meaning of constitutional monarchy? With the acceptance of the people, right? The people accepted, and that is mainly the upper middle class people, they accepted, and they have been now selecting the Louis Philippe as their head. Okay, now the new king was Louis Philippe. So this, what actually now brings the scene here is, this man Louis Philippe, he was the leader of the Liberal Party, right? And he has been now started accepting that, because he had a complete support of the upper middle class. So finally he was being crowned as the king. Okay, now what happens is, the next thing is, when France sneezes, the rest of the Europe catches cold. This is a very important quotation. We have already seen in the previous chapter. This was told by Duke Metternich. Who was he? He was the Austrian Chancellor, right? He told very important two quotes in the previous chapter. One is regarding France. That is what he told. When France sneezes, the rest of the Europe catches the cold. And the second thing the Metternich described about the Mazzini, the most dangerous enemy of our social order. So these two has been quoted by the Metternich. Okay, now what happens? Okay, because of this revolution and because of the censorship imposition, this made the liberal nationalists to get fired, and they have become revolutionary. And the first revolution, that is, it is not called as a first revolution, this we can call it as a second revolution in France, because it is in July 1830. This revolution mainly called as a July Revolution. And now we will see what happens in the rest of the Europe. As Metternich told, no, when France sneezes, right, the rest will also catch us the cold. Now what happens in the rest of the Europe? Okay, so the July Revolution sparked an uprising in Brussels. Brussels is the capital of Belgium, because we already know that the conservatism made, okay, that is Belgium to be under the United Kingdom of Netherlands. Now, because of this July Revolution, the Brussels, they want to break the Belgium away from the Netherlands kingdom. So this has been sparked. This is the uprising started. Okay. Now what happens? So this paragraph will be talking about the Greece War. Okay. That is Greece War of Independence. So this is the entire paragraph describes that. So now we will see what happened. So the educated elite across the Europe, okay, so they mobilized the feeling, that is they want to, the Greek, they want also to be the Greek also to be the independent nation. What happened to the Greek? Greek is nothing but the Greece. What happened to them? It was under the Ottoman Empire. That is from the long back 15th century onwards, they were been under the Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire, they were normally, they were a Muslim ruler. What happens now? This revolutionary movement, this also has been spread and this has been sparked of the entire Europe, and this also reached the Greece. Now already the Greeks actually, this because of this they have not made into the revolution. Okay. Already the Greek, they need independence from the Ottoman Empire. That was their aim from the beginning. Because of this spark from the France in 1830, they more triggered and they want to more fight against this Ottoman. What actually they were doing is that struggle for the independence among the Greeks that has been started in 1821. All right. The Greece nationalists, they are getting the support from the Greeks. They were living in outside the country. Outside the country, if anybody is doing any against the emperor or the ruler, they will be exiled. Exiled means they have to be taken out from the country, right, as a punishment. And now these Greeks, they are getting the support from the exiled Greeks and also from the Western European who actually have a ancient Greek culture. They have the Greek culture. So they are getting the help from the exiled Greeks and the Greek culture where it is mainly emphasized as in Western Europe. From both of them, the Greek people, they are getting the help. That is Greek nationalist, right? Now, the poet and artist, they were praising, another very important word is how they have been praised the Greece, cradle of European civilization. And because of this word, okay, they are praising the Greece, the cradle of civilization, and this they are taking to the public opinion to struggle against this Muslim empire, right? Why he has been applauded as a civilization? That is because it is the birthplace of the Western civilization, right? Including philosophy or art or literature or science or democracy or in terms of games. So this has been called as a cradle of European civilization. Who has been calling or who has been praising the poets and the artists? Okay, the poet and the artist, they are praising the Greece as a cradle of nationalization, and they are mobilizing the public opinion to support so that they can fight against the emperor, Muslim ruler. One such incident, what happened is Lord Byron. Who was he, Byron? He was an English poet, right? He is now collecting the funds, and he himself went to the war in fight against this Ottoman ruler, right? And finally he has been died in 1824 due to fever. Okay, so like one incident regarding the poet we are quoting over here. Now finally the Greece has been become an independent nation under the Treaty of Constantinople in the year 1832. Okay, now the Greece has been recognized as a free state. Now what happens? Because of the revolution started, right? First, the revolution has been taken place in France. They overthrown the Bourbon, and the next Belgium breaking away from Netherlands. Next, Greeks got independent in the year 1832. Now what happens? The romantic imagination and national feeling. What is this word called romantic? Okay, what is romantic? It was an artistic, okay, and a literary movement. Okay, this is called as romanticism. Romanticism, it is nothing but artistic and literary movement. Okay, by through this, how they are making a national feeling, we will see one by one. Okay, so the development of nationalism not only come from the wars, as well as by expanding the territory. Very important thing, culture played a main role in creating the idea of the nation. In what way? How the culture has been played? That is through the art, poetry, stories, playing music, dramas, that helped and to express and the feeling of the nation. Usually we will also do the same thing, right? How we can express, instead of going for a war, we have to motivate the people to make the spirit of nation only through the creating the culture. This is called as romantic, right? This is called as romanticism. What is the definition? It is a cultural movement which sought to develop a particular form. It is a cultural movement. What are all the cultural movement? By art, poetry, stories, music, dramas. Okay, that helps to develop a national sentiment. The romantic artists and the poets, they generally criticize the glorification of reason and science. What it means? Why they have to criticize? Because the reasoning and the science behind all those things has been popular during the industrialization period. So they were being criticizing the glorification, that what has been done during industrialization. Okay, why actually they are criticizing it? Because they thought that instead of going reason and science behind it, the emotion feeling, this was the main emphasis by them. Okay, the emotional feeling, this only evoked the nationalism, and that can be done only through the poets, arts, writings, and through the cultural movements. This was said by, or this was created by the romantic artist. So they were mainly focusing on emotions and intuition, feelings, and that is mystical feelings, which gives you the fantasy, which is not real, by creating the feelings and by sharing the collective heritage. Heritage is the tradition. What long we have been like this, we are following like this, like that. They are making a sensation and telling the cultural past. They form the basis of the nation. So this was described by them instead of going behind the science and reasoning. Okay, now we will be look one by one what happens, right? Before going into the next paragraph, we'll see this figure 8. What is this figure 8 about? The masquerade chaos. What is that massacre? What happened there? That is a large number of people killed, right? This was done by a French painter in 1824, right? This painting shows that nearly 2000 Greeks, this painting says to us 2000 Greeks were being killed by a Muslim ruler, Ottoman Empire, including children, women were they are killed, and they were tortured and they were killed. That was this figure emphasizes. So this gives the feeling in support of Greece. This is also called as the romantic artist. This painting is a romantic artist. This gives the feeling, okay, to support the Greece. Okay, now we will see the coming paragraph. What this paragraph they were saying is, now one by one we are going to see the different romantist. First we will see the German philosopher. We will start from Germany. So we are under romanticism. We learned what is romanticism, how they want to make the institute or mythical feelings about our nations, that we have seen. Now in the upcoming paragraphs we are going to see mainly two that is a philosopher or a romantist, one from German, the other example we will see completely about Poland, right? So now we will see about the German philosopher Johann Gottfried Herder. Okay, his name is called as Johann Gottfried Herder. He actually claimed the true German culture that has to be discovered among the common people, only from the common, because they only can able to go and do fight. They can only we have to emphasize the spirit only to the common people, right? That can be done by two concepts. According to him, two concepts. What are all the two concepts? One is das Volk, another one is Volksgeist. They are the German language. Okay, das Volk is nothing but culture can seen only among the common people. Volksgeist is nothing but true spirit of the nation. So he is emphasizing the two concepts. So these two concepts can develop or can be discovered among the common people. The spirit of the nation, how this can be developed only through by folk songs, folk poetry, folk dances. Okay, he is telling the two concepts. One is about the common people, another one is the true spirit of the nation. These two can be related only through folk songs, folk poetry and folk dances. So this folk culture helps to build the nation. This was according to the German philosopher, right? Also, we will see the very important emphasis of vernacular languages, right? And collection of local folklore. What is that vernacular language? It is the language that is spoken on a particular area. It no need to be an official language, but the group of people there, they will be speaking, right? So now we have to go and emphasize about the national spirit through the vernacular language. That was the main idea of this romantic artist. That by that only we can make a large audience. Okay, because large audience, they were mostly illiterate. Very important, they were illiterate. So only by emphasizing them through these artists, they can make to have a national feeling. And very important thing is what happened in Poland. Poland, this has been partitioned, and at the end of 18th century, the great powers, Russia, Prussia, Austria, they have been partitioned, right? Even though the Poland, it does not have any, it is not independent territory, okay? But even though it is not independent territory, they have kept the national feelings through music and language. Example for one such romantic artist in Poland, he is called as Karol Kurpinski. Okay, Karol Kurpinski. He actually celebrated the national struggle, or he taken the national struggle to the people by playing musics and by dramas with complete orchestra, with instruments, right? And through folk dances like Polonaise, mazurka. This only turned into the nationalist symbols. Okay, so what actually he was telling us, we can make the feelings, national feelings alive only through music. Another one important thing, through language. So through our own language, we have to play music and we have to play dances. By this way, we have to communicate to our people. That was their thinking. Okay. Next, coming to this, language is also, we have seen music as well as language. How language played a very important role. Yes, that is very important role in developing the national sentiments. How it has been developed as Russia occupied the Polish. Okay, Russia occupied the Poland, and what happened is they completely removed the Polish language. They forced out of the school. Now what happened? Russian language has been imposed everywhere. So what happened? So now in 1831, again the violent uprising against Russia took place. Okay, But whenever there is an uprising like this, Russia and army can easily crush them because they were very big. They can easily crush them. So number of following this revolution, many clergy, that is who have been in the churches, what actually they are doing, they want to make use of language as a weapon. For that they are trying to preach, that is in the church gatherings on any religious instructions, they are using Polish. Okay, large number of priests and bishops, because of this they were put in jail, and sometimes they were sent to Siberia. Siberia is a very coldest place. So but the Russia is giving the punishment like this because they don't want to use Polish. They want to do everything in Russia. Schools also, while doing preaching also, that has to be done in Russian language. So now the use of Polish, okay, came to be seen the symbol of struggle against the Russian dominance. So this is what we have seen so far, right? So how actually this romantic artist plays a vital role in making the struggle, that is creating the sensation of our nationalism and making the people to ready to fight for nationalism. Okay. The next thing is we are going to see very important topic, hunger, hardship and popular revolt. So before this, we will see the Grimm brothers. In this passage, they have stated about the Grimm brothers, their folk tales and nation building. How their folk tales is nothing but the stories that were told by our grandmas from generation to generation. The grandma has been told to father or mother has been now telling to us. Like the generation, the same stories has been passed. That is called as folk tales. That and a nation building, how these Grimm brothers were doing it, right? So Jacob and Wilhelm, they were the brothers and they were born in German, right? And they were studied law, but they have interest in collecting the folk tales, right? So they were spent 6 years. They were traveling from village to village and talking to the people and getting the informations and writing down the fairy tales. Okay, what happened is this is very popular. These stories has been very popular among children and adults. Subsequently, they have been entered into the liberal politics and the movement for mainly freedom of the press. So they also published 33-volume dictionary of the German language, right? So they saw the French domination was complete threat to them, threat to the German culture, and they believed that the folk tales that are collected, that is the expression that brings the expression of authentic German spirit. They considered that German language plays a vital role in opposing the French domination and to make the German national identity. So this was how through language, how through collecting folk tales, how they have built the nation sentiments, right? Now we will see the hunger, hardship and popular revolt. In 1830, great economic hardship in Europe, right? What is that hardship? Hardship is nothing but not having enough food or money, right? What happened is, the first thing is population. In 19th century, there is a beginning of the 19th century, enormous growth in population that has been there throughout the Europe. In most of the countries, when there is a population increases, what happened? First is, see, in 1830, there is a lot of great economic hardship in Europe, right? That is due to the enormous increase in population all over the Europe in the early 19th century. In most of the countries in the Europe, many were they were seeking the job instead of staying in employed. Okay, so they were unemployed. What actually this point is telling, most of the countries the people were unemployed. Population from the rural areas, now they are migrating to or moving to the cities. What happened? In order to search for food and their livelihood, they are moving to cities. Now the city slum is now overcrowded. Why it is in slum? Because they don't find any house, or they don't have any house to live there. So they want to be stay in the slums. Now the slums are getting overcrowded. Right. By this, what happened? Another thing is there will be a small producers, right, inside the town. They are facing a very hard competitions because England already has been started with the industrial revolution. So many machines, they are having many machineries. With the help of many machineries, they are producing goods, and that goods has been imported here for cheaper price, right? So what happened? That imported machine made goods will be liked by the people rather than these people which they are making, a small producers which they are often making at their homes. So they are finding a very difficult to sell their products or to market their products. This especially was there in textile production, okay, where in textile production, homes and small workshops, they are using partly mechanized. They were suffered a lot, okay. Now what? Upper middle class, that is, we can say in other word, aristocracy, who is next to the king, they were still enjoying the power, whereas the peasants, they are struggling a lot because they want to burden the feudal dues and the other promises whatever they has given to their landlords. So they were completely in burden, right? Now what happened is, the next is the rise of food price. Why the food price has been gone up? That because of the bad harvest. Finally, this led to the poverty both in the towns and the countries, right? See how it has been started in 1830 and now how it has been ended in poverty. All these things is mainly population. Population growth is the main impact, right? In the year 1848, it was one very big year. What happened? Food shortage and unemployment. The people, they are coming out on the roads and on the Paris. Now what actually they are doing? They are removing the barricades which has been erected. They are throwing off everything. They are making the king. He is the Louis Philippe, right? Previously we have seen they are making him as a king, right? They are throwing him off. They are making him, he is now forced to flee. And National Assembly proclaimed republic, and they granted a suffrage to all males whosoever age is above 21, and they guaranteed the right to work, right? And they have been setting up the workshops. National level workshops has been setting up in order to provide the employment. What happens now? We will just recall what happens now. In 1830, economic hardship was there, hunger, no jobs, right? So poverty is the result, unemployment, no harvest, no rainfall. Finally, these problems are quite increasing in 1830. This made what happened? This made to fight against the people come to the road and they are fighting against the Louis Philippe and he forced to flee. Finally, National Assembly proclaimed republic. It is proclaiming a republic, right? What type of republic? That is suffrage, universal manhood suffrage. Or that is suffrage only to the males, not to women, right? Only to the males is previously only the property holder man can able to vote, but now it is not like that. It proclaimed republic that gives you the new amendment that everybody can vote whosoever above 21, irrespective of whether you have property or not. But remember, no women have rights to vote. And finally, they are setting up the workshops at national level in order to give an employment, because that is the only way, right? So they were now doing all those things. They are overthrowing the king, and they were setting up some measures to help up the people, right? Now what happened? A new revolt called Silesia. What in that revolt? So this picture gives you the figure number 9, peasants uprising in 1848. This is called as Silesian Weaver Uprising. What happened in a village? Nearly 18,000 inhabitants, they were all doing the weaving, cotton weaving occupation. In there will be a contractor. Contractor is, he will be giving a job, right, to them. Yeah, they will be weaving and giving the products to this contractor. Once what happened if after taking all the jobs, the contractor suddenly reduced the price of the goods. Okay, they order. This complete made the misery of these weavers, right? What is this Silesia revolt? In 1845 it has happened. This is issue between the contractor and the cotton weavers. So usually the contractor, he will be giving up the materials, raw materials, and these people in the village, they will be giving the finished products. Okay, once it has been, job has been alerted, and now what actually these contractors are doing, they are reduced the price. So with the reduced price, they cannot do anything. So they got very agitated. The weavers got very agitated. Now on June 4th, right? On June 4th, 1845, this was happening in the year 1845. A large crowd of weavers, they were start going towards these contractors' house. They are march towards this contractor's house. Why? They want the higher wages. They want the demanding for the higher wages. Okay, but these weavers has been treated with a lack of respect, and they are giving a lot of threats, right? Following this, a group of them forced their way into their house, and they are smashed it elegant, right? So what actually they have done, they treated with this scorn and their threats alternatively, and following this, a group of them forcing into the house, and they are smashing the window panes, and they are breaking off everything storehouse, and they are taking the cloth, okay, whatever the supplies of cloth, and they are turning into small pieces. Okay, this was actually they are doing that. The contractor fled with his family. Now they want to go for a shelters. So now what happened? After a day, he has come back with a complete army. He brought the army. The contractors brought the army. While after returning, he brought the army. What happened? These army completely, they have entered into a big problem. They shot 11 weavers. 11 weavers were died. So this led to the revolution. So what actually we have seen in the previous topic, right? So that is in 1845 we have seen in Silesia. Silesia is now actually, it takes place, the geographical area in Poland, majority is in Poland, and some parts also occupied by Germany and Czech, right? This area, there is a problem between the raw material supplier of the contractor and the weavers. The payment issues was there, and this was being described by the journalist. Whatever we have seen is, it was described by a journalist called Wilhelm Wolff. He described the event, what we have seen so far. Now we'll move to the next topic called as 1848 Revolution of the Liberals. Okay. Oh, right. Right, we will recall from the beginning of the chapter. That was the paragraph they have given in this paragraph. So what happened? Parallel to the revolt of the poor, unemployed, and the starving peasants and workers in many European countries in the year 1848. Okay, a revolutionary led by the educated middle class was under the way. Okay, so events of February 1848 in France, that has brought the abdiction of the monarchy and a republic-based universal suffrage. Universal male suffrage that has been proclaimed. Also, in other parts of Europe, where the nation has not formed, right? There also men and women, they combined together and they fought for the constitution with national unification. This has been growing, and popular has been growing, and this made unrest, okay, to make their demands. What were their demands? Nation state and parliamentary principles, such a way they need a constitution, freedom of press and freedom of association. So this was happening, okay. What actually they have told in this paragraph, once again we'll see. In 1848, parallel to the revolts by peasants, workers, what we have seen in 1848, right, there is also the revolution is also led by liberals, middle class people. What was the main reason? They need constitution, they want freedom of press and freedom of association, abolition of monarchy, they need republic based, okay, making universal male suffrage. For all those things, the revolution has been broken down. Now what happens in the next paragraph? What happened in German? Large number of political associations, okay. Political associations, the members were middle class, professionals, okay, businessmen and educated. They were come together in the city called Frankfurt, and they decided, okay, to vote for all German National Assembly. Now they were okay, now we will vote for all German National Assembly. The group of people, they come together in the city called Frankfurt, and they were decided this. What happened in 18th May 1848? They have elected 831 representative. They have elected, and they are marching in a festive procession to take their places. Okay, we are one, and they are moving in a festive, the celebration mode, in order to take place in the parliament. Frankfurt, why they have chosen Frankfurt? Because parliament is there in the Frankfurt parliament that has been convened. The meeting has been together in the church of St. Paul, church of St. Paul. They drafted a constitution for a German nation that was to be headed by a monarchy, subject to a parliament. What it means? Headed by a crown, but that he has to be take the advice from the parliament that has been elected by the people. That was this monarchy, subject monarchy, right? And now they were offering the crown to the king named Friedrich Wilhelm IV. But he is the king of Prussia. What he is doing? He rejected it. Why he rejected it? He was rejected, and he now joined with the other monarchy to oppose the elected assembly. Why this man, he rejected the crown? Okay, because it was a democratic. This is not line with the traditional monarchy power. Okay, so some people, they are electing and they are making me crown. I don't want. I am not a traditional monarchy here. So he rejected it, and he joined with the other monarchy now to strongly oppose these members. Finally, what happened? While the opposition of the aristocracy and the military that is becoming stronger, the parliament has been completely eroded. Why is? There is a reason behind it, is because the middle classes who resisted the demands of the workers, artisans, they were losing the support. This is a very, very main reason why the parliament was dominated. Actually, the parliament was dominated by the middle class, right? But under this, the people were workers, artisans, peasants, they were there. But now they are not refused to give the support. Why? Because their demands was refused by the middle class. Okay, why actually this all happened is because of these problem. The middle class is now going slow, and they were not hearing their demands. For example, if you take a peasants, he has so many problems, what to sow next, and where is the money, how he will get, like all those demands cannot be taken forward by these middle class. So finally this parliament has been eroding away. Right, in the end, what happened is, these monarchies, they are bringing their troops, okay, and they are forcefully disbanding, okay, breaking these groups. That was the final conclusion happened in Germany, right? So this, what we are seeing, this is under completely about the making of the parliament and how it lost its support, and the end, the troops of the Friedrich and the other kings, how they have disbanded the assembly. Okay. Next, what about the women? The women actually, they formed their own liberal movement. They have been already participated in the liberal movement, but now they formed their own association. Okay, they are starting up a newspapers. They are now taking part in the meetings and demonstrations. This was the women participation. They formed their own political association, even though they were previously along with the liberal movement, but they were also starting up their own thing, because the suffrage was not given to the women, right? Even though they are denying the suffrage rights during the election assembly, they are doing their participation, they are showing their participations, right? So here we can see this picture, the picture called figure number 10. This is the Frankfurt Parliament. Here we can see the women are being given the permission only as an observer. Okay, they have to stand in the gallery, visitors gallery. Here this has been the color print. In this contemporary color print, we can see the women has been given in the upper left gallery, where they can see in the upper left gallery. They are not allowed to participate in any important decisions, no voting. Simply they can sit in the gallery as an observer. This was the status of the women, right? So now next we will see the last paragraph of this chapter. What happened because of this revolution is, the conservatives, okay, the king were called as conservatives after 1815, okay. So they were able to suppress the liberal movements in 1848, and actually they can able to do all those things, disbanding everything, but they cannot able to restore the old order. Why? Because now the people has been waken up, and these monarchies, how they were now doing all the atrocities, they cannot be do now. They cannot enjoy like old. Okay, so monarchies began to realize the number of revolutions, the cycles of revolutions and repressions could only be ended by simply giving some concessions to the liberals and the nationalist revolutionaries. So this has been realized simply by these people are making a revolution and they are repressing. We cannot end them, right? Only by giving some concessions we can able to make we can able to keep them calm. In the year after 1848, what happened is, autocratic monarchies that has been of monarchies of Central and Eastern European, they have been introduced, okay, which has been already there in the Western Europe. Before 1815 itself, there is already there in Western Europe. Now the autocratic monarchies has been introduced as a change over here. Okay, and next what actually they are doing is, the serfdom and the bonded labor that has been removed. In the we are talking about the Eastern and Central, like Habsburg dominant and in Russia. In this Habsburg ruler, they were also giving the autonomy to the Hungary in 1867. By giving some concession like this, They want to maintain the monarchies, and they are completely, they want to be in a complete compromise or in a smooth level. They clearly understood that they cannot able to go to the old order. They cannot able to restore anyhow. So they can able to run the show simply by granting some concessions, such a way that what they have introduced, they have introduced autocratic monarchies, and they have removed serfdom and bonded labor in the Eastern and Central Europe. This has been already there in the Western Europe before 1815 itself. And Habsburg, Western and Central Europe means that is Russia, these Habsburg Empire, like these rulers are also giving a self-governance to the Hungary in 1867. Okay, so this ends the chapter.